Hello everybody and welcome back to another action figure review. We're down here at the cellar of an old castle along with Nosferatu here, Count Olaf, the 20th anniversary Silent Screamer edition of this figure from Mezco Toyz. So let's take a look at what the Count brings in his coffin here. But before we even come to the figure, let's take a look at what you get if you decided, or if you were lucky enough to get the exclusive edition of this figure. Here is a Nosferatu 1922 t-shirt. You also do get this movie-like picture of the Count sneaking up the stairs, and in the box you get a little Mezco sticker and a little Mezco man as well. And of course, all of this, or besides all of this, you get the box with the figure. And let's begin with the unboxing, because there is actually a lot to unbox in this very cool packaging here. So now we are back here in the dark cellar, and let's begin with a look at the base here. The Nosferatu, very nice base. And as usual, you get a bag to store all the accessories, and you get a figure stand or piece here to hold the figure as well. Not that it is necessary, but it's nice to have. So, besides the figure itself, we have the following accessories. Let's begin with a total of 6 rats. Very nicely sculpted here. Most of them look alike, besides their tails are different, but there is also a rat here that looks different because it looks up instead of the others, who more or less looks straight ahead. But as you can see here, pretty nice details. We also have an incredibly detailed keychain here with a lot of keys. And we get a hat. The classic 1992 Count Olaf hat here. A small lantern here. Again, take a look at these details. Very, very nice. Now let's turn to the figure. Count Olaf himself here, looking very, very good, almost 100 years after the movie was made, and 20 years after the release of the first Silent Screamer's Nosferatu. I think this figure is incredibly detailed and very, very cool and creepy. If he's not creepy enough, then you get 2 extra head sculpts, then you can switch out. And here we have, I think it could be his more thoughtful, or maybe I'm just about to wake up in my coffin type face here. And we also get an angry, attacking, screaming vampire face here. Very, very, it's just great. Here we have the figure with a pointy hand, and on the left a hand where you can hold the keys or the lamp. We also get 2 more relaxed hands, and we get a pair of attacking, clawing hands. More than enough to create a variety of poses and display opportunities for this figure. But that's not all. Because if you won't display the figure standing up, you have another option. Because as mentioned in the beginning, the Count also brings his coffin, because where else would he sleep? And the lid here is removable, sculpted on the inside. And if we take a look inside the coffin, we have a lot of sculpted rats that you can't remove, but they are still looking great. You have the dirt in the bottom of the coffin. And if you want to, you can put the Count in the coffin here and put him to sleep. And you can place the lid, and just as the scene from the movie, you can see him peeking through the hole in the coffin here. This is just amazing, extremely great. So with a figure like the Count here, you won't really get in any trouble with the articulation, because the figure is very nicely articulated. He can look down, up, turn the head side to side, raise the arms. They are hindered a little bit, but I think you don't really need the crazy action type poses here. Arms bend about 90 degrees. You can kick forward and back. Double bend at the knees, and the very important ankle rocker is there, as well as some very nice movement at his wrists. If you want to change some of the parts here, the hands, they switch out incredibly easy. And the same goes for his head sculpt here. Just a very tight pull, and you can very easily place the new head sculpt. So I must say it's one of the figures where swapping out the hands and the heads are the most easy. Well, as I said, this is the 20th anniversary version of this figure. Let's compare him to the old one. So here we have the two Silent Screamers figures 20 years apart next to each other, and we can definitely see that they are from the same family. The older one is of course very limited in the articulation and the sculpt. It's slightly taller. I must say I like the old version very, very much, but this new one is incredible too. I am excited if Mezco is going to continue the releases of some of the older or maybe new Silent Screamer figures in the future, because if so, I am very excited about it. One other comparison is the rats here that also came with the older figure. This is a rat over here from the new figure, and here we have a rat from the old figure, and the older rats here are actually a bit larger, and they are made from a more rubbery type material. But you can, if you are lucky enough to own the old figure as well, you can always use both types of rats for your display here. You can see this one is the old one, and it's taller. Oh, and he lost his head here. Sorry about that. Now we have the Count here with his hat on, just to show you how this looks, and it fits on all three head sculpts. And he is wearing his hat because he's going to say hello to some other figures, so you can see how he looks next to here one of the larger Mythic Legions characters, Purpler here, and they actually fit pretty good together. So if you want to battle Mythic Legions with your Nosferatu, they'll be fine doing that. Here we have him next to another Mezco figure, the Daredevil figure, and he is actually taller than the average 1/12 collective figure from Mezco. We can also compare him to an 8-inch figure, and of course he'll be smaller here. But this is how he looks compared to some other figures. Now, before this review is getting way too long, I'll once again zoom in on the incredible details of this figure. Not only the sculpt, but also his tailor here is very nice. His coat is great looking, and also all the way down to his shoes here. He has details worthy of a figure being way larger, and I must say this is one of the best figures that I have reviewed in a very, very long time. If you are the slightest fan of Nosferatu, or collect figures from Mezco, I think this one is a must-buy. But for now, I'm going to leave you with my opinion about the figure, and then I'll conclude this review. Well, as you might have guessed here in my review, I am very happy about this figure. I highly recommend to go out and get it. So I'm not going to say much more. Let's just put the count to sleep here for now. And while doing that, I will say thank you for watching this review. Leave a comment and subscribe if you'd like to see more.